Well, we'll find out as we head into Game 2 picks and bans. I think that RivaL are a team that's well-versed with plenty of pages in their playbook, so I don't think this is their one-trick cookie-cutter strategy that they're going to run every single game, whether it's online or at LAN. I think that when you win Spring Split LAN and come second place at the Summer Split, you better have an arsenal behind you to, transition after the first game loss.
Yeah, I think they're showing that they got a lot of stuff that works on the side of Team RivaL, so a fair point. And I like this. They're going to just go ahead and ban away that Bakasura. We don't want to see any more from Mango. Don't try that one again. Find something else to beat us.
Now, I'm not sure if that's just a comfort pick that Mango's just used to, or if that was a specific counter pick against the Artemis. That first gank that we showed in the duo lane up against Vaporishkos was well designed and well orchestrated. Time the ultimate to be able to immune the boar stun and just put in the hurt. Vaporishkos couldn't get the ball rolling this game.
Interesting, though. We see the same bans from Noxious, which means, Baron Samedi can be first pick selected here by RivaL, and why not? I mean, this guy feels like he does just about everything you could want, right? Movement speed, control, healing. He's got a lot.
And I think RivaL are already patting themselves on the back for their ability to play mind games inside picks and bans. There's just a lot of things that you have to worry about, and I think that Noxious are more concerned about the comfort levels of Rapio than necessarily Predators or Fly playing Baron.
Now, there's certainly a chance that Noxious just feel comfortable up against Baron and are like, hey, it's okay, you can pick it. But I feel that there's a chance that they might have been like, we got him to ban Bakasura, and we're a little bit too focused on that and let this Baron come through. And it's not just Baron totally. It's Baron and Freya. These are the ones that they banned last game.
Oof, that's a lot of damage. That is so much damage. But picking up Chernobog, picking up the Robin. Robin's an interesting pick up against Baron because you can use the overhead kick to go closer during Baron's ultimate, so you can absorb that initial stun and the burst damage. But Chang'e will be the selection. I think Noxious can have just the right amount of utility and healing to deal with Baron.
Now, this isn't a slouch draft here from Noxious by any means. I know that they got Baron and Freya on the side of RivaL, and y'all are probably freaking out in chat a little bit, but Noxious has some very strong picks of their own right. Chernobog, very likely the best hunter you could have right now. Ravana, a very strong jungler, a true assassin now as well, and then Chang'e, once she gets online, there's not much you can do to slow her down, so Noxious certainly have a formidable draft in their own right.
And whenever you're Chang'e up against another mage, you're sitting pretty, knowing that you're not going to get bullied too much necessarily. I think Chang'e, if anything, will be the bully of this laning phase.
Yeah, anyone who's really low pressure and kind of gives that Chang'e sort of a free time in that early game can certainly be punished. And then I like this Geb to come in as well because, as you said, the Chang'e very likely is going to be comfortable, right? We already have Chernobog, who's going to be doing a ton of damage for him. Now Geb, just to make sure that everyone's A-okay, get those Geb shields out, those Cataclysms. Noxious, they're looking good.
Very good, honestly. And I'm curious who their last pick is going to be. Robin could flex between the jungle position if they really want to. But when you have Chang'e, I would rather run it solo lane than mid anyway.
Yes.
So we'll see where Fly elects to go. It could also be maybe a Chernobog inside the mid. But no, it is going to be the Agni. I think that they recognized Dave Jr. had a lot of control in those last team fights, in the late game especially. So why not have it again?
But he was a little, I feel, almost overly cautious in the early game. I wouldn't be surprised if RivaL pick up on that and maybe try and capitalize. He was using beads very quickly, dashing right away. When maybe could have stayed a second or two longer, there might be an opportunity there. But what about you all there in Mixer chat? Who do you think is going to win this game? Go ahead and vote for us now in the poll and give us your thoughts.
I'm curious to see how they vote actually in Game 2 because the first game I think it was like, what, 83-17?
Heavily RivaL.
Somewhere like that. And after that first game win, I think a lot of fans at home are going to be on the Noxious bandwagon.
And I think rightfully so. Is there room for me? I mean, I want to hop on too. It was an excellent game that they had there in Game 1, right? So now the chance to see if RivaL can recover or if Noxious really do just kind of have something figured out with this RivaL squad.
But RivaL have some crazy late game potential with between Fly playing this Freya middle, Rapio playing his Mercury jungle. As long as DineOhSaw can, keep the game relatively close in the early to mid game, then that late game for RivaL, monstrous.
It's going to be very difficult for them to deal with this. It is going to be Predators taking the Baron over the solo lane, Fly taking the Freya into the middle lane. We did say usually when you have a mage over there in solo lane as the Chang'e, you can very likely get the pressure. But I don't know. Baron Samedi doesn't play by the same rules as everybody else. He rides on coffins. He does his own thing. I mean, is it still going to be kind of a lane where Chang'e won't have to worry that much about the pressure, even against the Baron?
No, Baron is just too swaggerlicious for Chang'e to handle. I mean, look, listen, he's listening to music, he's snapping his fingers. When you're dealing with a person that's like not even really paying attention to you, like doing their own thing,
right? Yeah,
it's just like that's so demoralizing.
Yeah, he's got his Baron's brew that he's gonna take some swigs from as well. So he's certainly gonna be having a good time here in this solo lane. Hopefully, we'll see if it'll be the same here for
just
Gnome.
look at his jump too. Like, come on, who jumps like that?
That's the best jump in the game.
It is.
Hands
It's
down.
pretty good.
It's pretty darn good.
I like Xingqian's jump.
Xingqian's is pretty good.
Backflips.
There's an Aerie skin that does like a forward roll when I think it's his in combat jump. That's great. I didn't even realize it. It's great.
Well, actually, I think the best jump is the new Ganesh plushie.
Oh yeah,
that jump is
that's
just
a good jump.
adorable.
That whole skin is great. That Ganesh plushie one. Unfortunate, there's no Ganesh here. Just Gebs and Terras. Okay, I agree. They're pretty good. Pick Geb and Terra. That's fine. But not that many Baron's brews coming out. That was one thing I was kind of keeping my eye on here. It looks like just Vaporish Coast, who's elected to pick one up here early. Of course, you have the opportunity all game long, so we might see them grab them on their first backs here. No one going with it initially. Instead, spending money elsewhere as Rapio gets his face fixed.
That's kind of what Ravan does, honestly, especially level 2. The health pool from a Mercury just cannot handle the aggression. But speaking of aggression, Vaporish goes confident enough to jump in, knowing that they have the lane control advantage. They're hiding behind the archers to the point that they can still soak up this experience, trying to deny Hydro and Mush any farm.
Remember, Kos is the one with the brew as well, so he can afford to play, I feel like, perhaps a little bit more aggressive than he normally would, as he's getting tremendous value from it. It ticks for health and mana, obviously, just for that 150 price point, and it'll refill like a chalice when he goes back, so Coast should be able to feel very comfortable here, already back up near full HP, and able to kind of force Hydro back a bit.
For 150 gold, this is one of the best starts you can actually hope for. And normally, a lot of hunters will opt to go for 2 health potions, 2 multi-pots on top of their Devil Glove start. But when you got that Baron's Brew, you might as well sacrifice the 1 health potion to allow yourself more just flexibility and safety in the mid-game.
Look at Mango. Deep in the enemy jungle. You unfortunately will find there's not much there, so he'll just hit that back timer and head back to base. Didn't see how much gold he had, so yeah, it's essentially just boots 1 at this point, so not even a ton he's getting for it, but that's the safest way for him to retreat, and he'll be right back for his speed buff.
And the thing with Mercury is even though you're only getting movement speed, that's going to translate into power. So
that's true.
That 6% still important for him to min-max his farm.
And help that Mercury out. That's a great combination. The wall right into the pillar impale. Jhin takes quite a bit of poke. Not going to be enough to put him really into critical territory, but at least enough to hold him back. But Rapio and Fly are both here in the jungle. I don't know if Noxious recognized. They got to make sure they fall back.
They definitely need to be worried about this potential gank. I don't think that they know about this, but Rapio, not wanting to invest his time any longer, opts to go back to pick up the tier 2 version. Gnome kind of dancing around with Predators. Meanwhile, his allies stripping away the blue.
Big rotation, too, because Dave was there along with Mango just to make sure there was no way for Predators to get that blue buff. And Baron, he used a lot of abilities. He's going to be wanting that mana over there in the solo lane, so that could certainly hurt him in terms of his mana economy early on.
Which is why he's not as popular in the mid lane as a result. You're trying to put him in the solo lane so you get that blue buff frequently to be able to be that bully. And whenever you can keep one individual target above 30 Hysteria, you get 10, you apply 10 Hysteria to the targets with abilities, 1 per basic attack. And once you get them over that 30 mark, you're able to mitigate some of their damage output and start winning the trades. You're getting yourself extra movement speed. And then Predators, once he gets a little bit of cooldown reduction, he can start swinging this laning phase.
DineOhSaw going in aggressive here in the dual lane yet again. And I'm glad that we're seeing this from him, because this is how Rival's dual lane's going to play. It felt like no matter what. And if there was going to be a time where it would change, it would be after a tough loss at a land and then losing game 1 to start the fall split. That would be when maybe we should take a look at it. But no, RivaL are staying true to themselves. They're still playing forward, picking Anhur, who's one of the more aggressive hunters you could want here in lane, second maybe to like the likes of Uller. I'm glad that they're kind of sticking to their identity over here.
And not playing his traditional Hachiman that Vaporish Coast is very well known for. Going for the Anhur shows that he's not really deterred from losing that first game, despite basically not getting camped, but just getting shut down at a point in the game that he wasn't really prepared for in that first game. And I think that Vaporesh Ghost still can make the plays.
Rapio looking for Dave Jr. He had Fly showing up in support. They're going to go for the red buff invade. The banish didn't quite land, so Dave Jr. still going to be able to drop some bombs. Cataclysm hits 2, and now Mango can look for the dunk. DineOhSaw has nowhere to go, especially with Hydro rotating in. It's only a matter of time. First blood goes over to the Hunter on the side of Noxious.
Great play already. I like the way Predators was using that ultimate a little bit to look away from Gnome ever so slightly, trying to get off some more ticks. But now Gnome still has Wax-Moon. Predators does not. Neither does he have his blue buff, and with this 1 level advantage for Gnome, can still be aggressive. Has Meditate, has even the Genji's Guard, and more importantly, has the Chang'e Bunny to get whatever he wants.
That's right. He can send that back and finish up boots as soon as he has money for it and try and make sure he's getting those abilities off as often as possible. Rapio has shown up and dropped this blue for Predator, so that will be the end of his mana starvation, at least for now, as he picks that blue buff up for himself. But Gnome is the one here with the pressure early on, forcing out ultimates from Predators.
And with Predators having his teleport cooldown for another 145 seconds, Gnome needs to take advantage of this by just consistently poking him out.
That's right, yeah, he's already forcing him back as well. So this is an opportunity, I feel like, for Gnome to really try and get even more of a level lead here.
Even using Wax-Moon wouldn't be a bad idea. Knowing,
like just to force it.
Yeah, just to force it back. Knowing that Predators already used the ultimate, doesn't have any sort of CC immunity available to him. No health potions, no chalice, nothing available. That would be a slight edge Gnome can abuse now.
Heading back over to the middle lane. Book of Thoth has been the consideration from both our middle lanes. This is sort of picked up in popularity now with that passive rework. It's a little bit stronger. Plus, Freya's like to have the bigger mana pool anyway, but Sonic Boom is coming through. Jhin gonna get sent right back to Vaporesh Coast, but it's Hydro who has the damage. They get the kill on Rapio, but now can they get away from DineOhSaw, who's made the rotation as well?
Oh, Mush is still around the corner. Mango trying to make that rotation happen, hiding inside the wall for a moment.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, Predators solos out Gnome in that lane. DineOhSaw is going to get taken out by Mango. So far, a 2-for-1.
Unfortunately, that's really the only thing that went their way in that fight, as it really went well for Noxious over here in the dual lane, finding DineOhSaw and Vaporesh Coast. That was off of the Sonic Boom coming out from Rapio. So really, it was Rapio, DineOhSaw, and Coast, all who ended up falling, as a pause is going to come out from Mango. Noxious, though, when you look at game 1, when you look at this fight we just saw in the start of this game 2, they're looking strong. They
have been looking very strong. And I thought that gank was going to be much more successful to start things off, considering that pillar didn't allow Rapio to overshoot his target by that much. He actually not only hit the Geb, but he stopped right at that pillar.
Right.
But the problem was he didn't have beads to stop the Cataclysm, stop the knock-up, and Mercury is a glass cannon. Sure, he does a lot of damage, but he also receives a bunch in return.
And you saw a bit of what Chernobog can also do in terms of his turnaround potential.
Oh, yeah.
Blew him up very, very quickly. So it can be tough anytime you're trying to gank if you can't maintain that CC chain the entire time, and you kind of allow for an opportunity for Hydro to get his damage back off in return. So unfortunately, they end up falling over in the dual lane. If you're RivaL fans, if you're Noxious fans, it's about as well as that could have gone.
I mean, there was, what, 23% of the fans at home voting for Noxious in game number 2, and they're getting off to a comfortable lead, 4-1, only a slight little hiccup in the solo lane.
Yes.
Gnome now back in the game with this 1-level deficit. Gives Predators a slight potential to make this comeback, but I don't think Baron is one of these characters that could just single-handedly carry games on his own. He's more of this utility style, trying to mitigate some of the damage output by hitting the same target, applying all this hysteria.
Especially not into a Chang'e as well, right? Because Chang'e is going to be doing a lot of the same things that you do. She has a great ultimate for control in team fights, able to provide some sustain for the team too. So yes, Predators will still be doing what he does, but Gnome does a lot of that for Noxious as well. So if all else is in favor of Noxious, and this is a little bit in RivaL's favor, Noxious got to still be feeling comfortable.
There's still a lot of goal furies left remaining before the game is decided one way or the other. Last time, I think it was Noxious securing it at the 10-minute mark in game number 1. This time, they still have that option if they really want to, knowing that Hydra has the burst damage, even rushing this Bloodforge to start off second game.
Oh, wow, there's going to be the first one coming out from Hydra. So a nice big power bank item for him early. Gives him that shield as well when he finds kills. It's going to be the life of the party, though, into the Sonic Boom for Gnome. Rapio looking for another gank attempt, but this time in the solo lane. Gnome still has Waxing Moon, turnaround, two-man stun, but the slow to root a little bit too strong. Special delivery away from Predators, but they find the kill anyway with the Major Look.
Trying to make this rotation was Hydro. He used the ultimate, but he didn't fully commit. Now Mango, Mystic rushing, missing the root, uses his first ability, Prod Onslaught, just to clear the archers.
And that's what we need to see from Rapio Predators, just playing a little bit better. Gen force use the Cataclysm in mid lane, but Fly removes him, hits the delete key, and sends him on his way, turning his attention towards Dave Jr. Double kill for the mid lane. Freya, who's here to play.
RivaL and Fly are saying, let me show you why Freya should be banned every single game. Predators thanking his lucky stars that he's able to survive against Mango's gank. Avoids the root, hits his own root, and turns it around.
Yeah, this has turned around on a dime here, Anatoly, and now a chance for Gold Fury to go the way of Team RivaL as well. No one from Noxious around. This should be the freest of free, and they get that big win over in the solo lane. I mean, RivaL, they answer back in a big way.
A lot of a better start compared to game number 1. Rapio trying to make a play against Gnome yet again, using that second ability to get extra movement speed, but feeling happy that he just stole the blue buff, will walk away for the moment.
RivaL's been strong here for a while now, but we're still really kind of defining their identity, I feel like. And this is a team that's showing us here now that they're sturdier than maybe that we've been giving them credit for. I mean, it's been a series of blows they've taken here, but now RivaL has some excellent play. Predators and Rapio just kind of outplaying Mango and Gnome in solo, finding some nice kills there, getting the kill in middle lane off Fly on for the double, and a Gold Fury. I mean, they're looking great.
I think it's fair to say that RivaL are a team that has no identity. It's their identity. The fact that they're able to be so versatile in every single side lane.
Yeah, they'll do just about whatever it is here that they want to do, but we're going to get everything taken care of here for you all in just a moment, but we're going to, looks like, come out of the game, try and get everything situated here on our end of things, get back to the action. It's going to be a real quick break, though, and we'll be right back to take care of everything here for you. Welcome back to the Smite Console League. Sorry about that interruption there, but we're going to get everything taken care of for you, and I appreciate y'all for being patient here with us. We should be able to hop right back in to RivaL up against Noxious here in just a moment. And to get y'all back up, I mean, Noxious won game 1, and we're actually looking kind of good here in game 2, but RivaL have kind of started answering back.
Oh, RivaL definitely with the Freya specifically, the burst damage coming from Fly in the mid lane, really showing us the true power behind this Norse goddess. And I think that Rapio stepping it up on the Mercury jungle as well.
Yeah, it's been some impressive plays over in the solo lane, able to survive Mango's ganks over there. As you said, Fly with that Freya was just deleting people from the map. I mean, it's really kind of turned things around here in this mid game. We'll see if they're going to be able to keep that going as we move right back into the action. RivaL up against Noxious. Dave Jr. catching a hand a little bit from Fly again. That was one shot, I believe, that brought him down.
And this is only going to get scarier. With some of the buffs recently to some of the rings, Freya got that much better. Vaporishko's doing a good job throwing Mango back away, but the chase is on.
Vaporishko's played that about as well as he could. That sets up Fly to come in and get the trade at the very least. Rapio ults for the disengage, but Hydro comes in and drops a ton of damage into DineOhSaw's face. Pushes him back, but Fly wants more. He is able to find the banish onto Zhen, brings him down and starts burning him right away. Goes up with the Valkyrie's discretion and finds the kill.
Just for the last hit, safety, tier 1 tower in the mid lane on its last legs. Noxious need to hold on to that unless RivaL are going to be able to secure that for themselves and get 500 gold. Meanwhile, in the solo lane, after taking those 2 quick spills, Gnome 2 levels behind Predators.
I believe the first one that Predators found was the solo kill that he got during the gank in duo lane, and the second one was a little bit of help from Rapio. Is going to drop the life of the party. Can't find much here, but he's got Rapio and DineOhSaw in support. They want to steal this blue buff and make life even harder on Gnome. Gnome looked to try and take it back over the wall. I wasn't quite sure if he was able to contest or not.
Definitely not able to contest it that time around, and I think that a lot of the situations from this 1v1 matchup occurs when you have to avoid some of the hysteria, and if you're not able to do so, well, now you're losing 30% of your effectiveness. Gnome not able to do all that damage that he's just so used to. Even doing a decent job in terms of building defensively with the Genji's guard, but honestly, it's not about the protections that's going to keep you alive against Predators. It's about having that extra health and then just being able to spam more of your cooldowns. That's why he opted for Genji's for 10% cooldown, goes for Shoes of Focus, and with the evolved Mage's Blessing, 30% for Chang'e, with the heal maxed out, is going to be sitting pretty.
Able to get those abilities off very frequently right now is Gnome. We'll see him continue that spam as the game goes on. Looks like Pyromancer's being considered there for a moment, but had to be dropped in the end. Noxious still able to hang around and contest. In fact, Hydra able to find a tier 1 tower over in duo as Vapor's Coast had to back. So a nice little bit of gold and opens up the map a bit in Noxious' favor.
Got to play towards your strengths. Hydro piloting this Chernobog can use that global pressure to rotate to these team fights if needed upon. DineOhSaw actually misses his own monolith, but just tanky enough to survive the bombs.
It's not just Fly putting out the hurt. Dave Jr. has plenty of damage on his own, being helped there by Reformed Mango. Both these mid lane mages swinging at this point in the game, so you're going to want to make sure that you stay away from them. But Rapio has that Sonic Boom charging up. He wants Gnome as his target, but not going to be able to find the shot, especially with Xuen and Reform Mango nearby. In fact, they're going to dunk it on Predators.
Tried to backpedal against the rope, but here comes a counter engage. Rapio with a Sonic Boom, but it's just too squishy of a solo mage to survive that one.
All 5 members of Noxious are here in the solo lane to force down this tier 1 tower. Fly now making his rotation to come join the fray, as all Rapio can do is watch as they take the structure. DineOhSaw charges in, but immediately gets controlled and burned down. Even Dave Jr. dropping the bombs, and Mango finds the kill. Now Fly comes in on the backside. Valkyrie's discretion gets him out of the fight for a moment, but he's going to land right back down into a world of hurt.
Deb Shield just keeping himself up for a little bit longer. I thought for a second Vapor's Coast was about to jump over that wall and knock up several members, but only losing to RivaL. Thanking their lucky stars that Noxious, that it's not the late game, because Noxious can run away with a Fire Giant, but will just settle for a Pyromancer instead.
Vapor's Coast doesn't even want to give that up. He has the Desert Fury available, wants to use it to steal, but
Close.
Can't quite get it. Noxious secure the Pyro.
Very, very close. Now Fly looking for a play opportunity, but overhead kick from Mango going to keep him safe for the moment. One shot onto Mango takes away about 20% of his health pool, but he is a glass cannon, honestly. With the recent changes to Ravana, he's now an assassin. His health per level has decreased, and going for Jotun's Wrath into a second penetration tree. Those shots from Fly will be felt.
Nice rotation from Predators to come grab the tier 1 tower. Great play from RivaL to get the Gold Fury as well. Vapor's Coast, Rapio, and DineOhSaw pairing are really going 3-man deep to get that one, and able to pull the Gold Fury for themselves. Letting Rapio tank it for quite a while too, but he was looking for the back anyway, so no big deal. RivaL now about 2,000 gold out in front. Don't want to give up this set for free.
Definitely not. Now they realize that Mango liked the Hasten Katana on the Bakasora, so that's exactly the direction Rapio went on the Mercury. Using that movement speed to get extra power, being able to chase some of those members out of Noxious, trying to disengage from the action. And it hasn't been that successful for them to disengage, especially against Fly that has 4 kills to his name.
Yeah, Rapio, wasn't much you could do there. Waxing Moon came in just to seal the deal, but Dave Jr. had already done a good job controlling him. Fly, Valkyrie's discretion, has to go up into the air to try and get away. He is able to reposition back underneath the tier 1, but 5 members of Noxious here. They can push down this tier 1 tower without too much trouble. Zhen will take it up, and all RivaL can do is watch on.
They certainly can easily get this 500 gold. And the thing is, yes, Fly has a lot of magical damage, but he doesn't have the same kind of magical control compared to Dave Jr.
That's right.
The only control, realistically, from RivaL is coming from DineOhSaw with the Monolith Faru. It's also Predators having to use that ultimate.
Sorry, I laugh every time I see Dave Jr. I just want to know who Dave Sr. is. Who's the mystery man? The man behind the mask. That's what I want to know. I'm obsessed now, Tully.
The questions.
I've become a shadow of my former self. This apparition. I want to know.
Some say that Dave Sr. is still high in the mountains, waiting for his moment to shine.
Like chopping wood.
So he trained Dave Jr. to take his place in the battleground of the gods, obviously.
Right. Clearly.
If things were to get real serious, that's when Dave Sr. steps in.
Oh man, we don't want to have that happen. Just for the sake of you folks at home, I don't have to worry about Dave Sr. climbing down, but Team RivaL have answered back in a great way here in this game. They've got some vision now around this Fire Giant. As we approach the 17.5-minute mark, that Fire Giant starting to become more and more a realistic consideration for both these teams. They've got a ton of burn. No one can afford to leave that open for too long.
I think RivaL's burn potential significantly better, though, between this Mercury and the Freya. Predator is now caught in a 1v3, trying to get away. There goes the knockup. Even the Geb Shield trying to keep him alive, or the shell rather, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, Baron does a lot of things well, but running away from 3 people isn't really one of them. So a great collapse from Noxious, able to punish Predator for being a little bit too far forward without his tier 1. And now with 4 members here, they might aggress on the DineOhSaw as well. They have a chance for this tier 2 tower, as now even Hydro's going to come join the fray with that Living Nightmare.
They even force vaporizhos to defend the tier 2 tower siege on the left side, now switching their attention to the right side. Tier 2 tower about half health, but Mango really committing to try to kill out that support. Prada Onslaught only connecting onto the Anhur there. The pillar just providing too much of a slow to get close enough.
Wraparound from Fly almost finds the Banish, but they know that he's over there in the jungle now, so they'll be a little bit extra cautious. Rapio, though, could be the difference maker. If he can find a big sonic boom coming in from the jungle, that could set up the rest of the fight, but it looks like the rest of RivaL have disengaged. They don't want to start this just yet. But totally, I've been so impressed with Noxious's play here today. They look great.
They're able to pull and push RivaL almost to their will, but luckily for RivaL, so far, Rapio using a small window of opportunity to be able to get a tier 2 mid tower during that siege on the right-hand side. vaporizhos wasn't able to keep up with the rotation. That's just simply the god that Hydro is playing. Obviously, when you have global pressure in the form of Apollo or Chernobog, split push all day, every day, because you'll be in that team fight way before the opposing hunter.
RivaL first picked Baron.
Yes.
Then threw it over to Noxious, where they picked 2 things that weren't Freya, and then threw it back over to RivaL.
I think it was Chernobog and Ravana that they selected after Baron.
Good gods.
Not too shabby.
Not Freya, though.
But they're not Freya. You are correct, Finch.
If it was on a binary scale,
Freya or not Freya?
Right, those guys are not Freya, and unfortunately, that's going to matter a lot here in this matchup. We'll see if they can answer it back, as Noxious will be the ones who look for the Pyromancer. Rapio nearby, but they won't make it here in time. Pyromancer secured. Noxious, their play around objectives has been great this whole set.
Oh, absolutely. Between the two of these teams, already 16 deaths total, 20 minutes of play. Game is only separated by about 1,300 gold. It's not that much that RivaL are in the lead, but if they're able to walk away cleanly with a second Gold Fury, things might start slipping for Noxious the same way it was for RivaL in Game 1.
Oh, they burned through it so quickly. There was not time for Noxious to answer, even with their global presence. Predator's in a little bit of trouble. Hops up on top of the coffin, does find a stun. 2-man stun comes out from Rapio as well, but it's 1-for-1 so far, as Fly is pushing in a ton of damage.
What a good sonic boom. Valkyrie's discretion from Fly gets himself a double kill, still chasing him down, using that Pulse Irradiate combination. Not much life left in the Skeb.
Rapio finds kill number 3. Hydro finds a return kill and jumps inside the wall. He wants to come out and trade a little bit more, able to drop the crystallized Kurt, but Fly's too strong, finds another kill. Hydro gets one as well. Gnome draws some blood too. That means 4 members have fallen on both sides.
Wow.
Only Gnome and Co still standing.
Only 1-for-1 remains after 8 members die in this battleground. vaporizhos probably could have made a bigger impact if he stayed in that team fight a little longer, dropping that pillar to apply some of the slows. And I like the man fighting that we saw between Hydro and Fly. They were just kind of holding their ground, taking shots at each other. And for Hydro's sake, he needed to do that knowing that he has the Blood Forge. It's a lot of lifesteal to be able to stay in the fight and just last. And if you get that kill, well, now you got a waterfall trickle-down effect where you're getting that extra movement speed, you're getting that extra health shield to look for kill number 2.
That was definitely the out that Hydro was trying to play to in that fight. And what a difference he ended up making, because even though that fight did start with Predators getting collapsed on, they all grouped up so much in that corridor. Fly had a ton of damage. Rapio hit a great sonic boom. I'm a little surprised that fight didn't go better in RivaL's favor, in all honesty.
I agree, but I think that a lot of their cooldowns might have still been unavailable after that Gold Fury, so there was a slight window where Noxious wanted to force something there, but couldn't really make it happen at the end of the day.
7-1-1 for Fly right now, and he might try and make that a little bit better here as Gnome is getting pulled back in. The coffin will stun him first. DineOhSaw finds the kill. Now Mango enters the scene, but it might be too little too late as Predator's putting in a little bit of work of his own. The Banish pulls him up and Rapio puts him down. 2 quick kills for RivaL, and they look for the Fire Giant.
Well, Predators was the victim of a 1v3 earlier, so RivaL wanted to return the favor right on top of Gnome. Mango was just caught in no man's land afterwards, trying to save his soul laner. A little bit too lost for the cause there. He still had Blink available, so if you were going to commit to try to look for the cleanup play, normally you want to like blink in to get in there a little closer, but didn't have that option.
And this is tough for Noxious in a game where the trades have been relatively even to the point where both teams give up 4 people and only keep 1 alive. They've now given up 2 kills and the Fire Giant, and a chance for RivaL to really try and open this lead up. If they can grab these tier 2 towers, that's 3,000 gold. The tier 1 would add another 500 on top of that as well. They could certainly boost their lead up just off that one play in solo.
You could just blink for a moment and then RivaL can just run away with this game between the Mercury and the Freya. I love these 2 selections in particular. The RivaL will now start to show the true strength, because that structure in the left-hand side is not going to last for long.
They're definitely going to be able to come tear this down, but take a look at Predators. Looks like we are indeed...
I love those masks.
Yeah, going to be seeing one of our first journeys here into these masks here. Totally, how do you feel about it here for Predators? Enjoying some of our new itemization options.
I mean, you want to be able to be your utility mage and apply all your slows with the Gem of Isolation, so sure, go ahead, go for the Lonos mask. You're not going to be dealing that much damage anyways, Baron, so taking that 20% damage dealt hit and the healing done hit is way better, or not as bad compared to taking 20% less damage. When you don't have the natural health pool of a warrior or a guardian, this allows mages to stay a little bit more resilient in these team fights.
Especially with how much heavily they've been collapsing on them. Predators wants to be a little bit more careful as they look for the siege on this tier 2 tower here in duo lane. Right now, it looks like everyone has all relics available except for the sprint on the side of Predators. We'll see how big a deal that is as Gnome gets caught out by the Banish. Going aggressively with the coffin to pull in. Jin is going to get the fight started. Sonic Boom rips through, and Fly finds the first kill.
Using the Valkyrie's discretion, 2 quick picks onto Noxious, make that 3. Fly getting himself a double kill. Mango narrowly avoiding the stun, but the chase continues. He's going to be the 4th victim. Surrender vote, and I think RivaL have just extended this to a game 3.
Yeah, I think this game is over here totally. Deicide, triple kill, and a ton of damage coming out from Fly. 16,000 up at the top of the charts, getting it done out of the middle lane. Team RivaL going to force us to that game 3, and Noxious, for as strong as he looked in game 1 and for 24.5 minutes in game 2, it's over just like that.
Well, what was it? It was a Naja band, and it was also a Ratatasker band, trying to really isolate Rapio's God selection. But after that game, I think they're going to be considering a Freya ban if they're not first pick themselves.
I certainly think that they will. Not only did they ban those 2 picks away, but my man still got to play Mercury.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I don't know. If we were talking about value-based drafting, I don't know if that was the right idea. Plus, as you mentioned, the Freya and the Baron all made it through. But who was your MVP from game 2? I think you should vote for Fly.
I think so too. I think that he put himself in good positions to find some of these kills, setting up plenty of whoop opportunities to catch people out of position, and a Freya that can play like that in the mid position, let alone 100 position jungle, wherever, shows the flexibility between RivaL.
And this is interesting from RivaL because I feel like so often Vapor's Coast is the one that kind of gets things done, especially when their backs are against the wall. But in game 1, he wasn't that much of a factor. Here in game 2, it felt like it was Fly and Rapio and Predators that were really getting it done for them. So they've kind of relied on them, I feel like, at times, and it seems like that's not the case here. They don't need it as much.
A little bit of a warm-up game for the hiccups in game number 1. RivaL showing their true form in game number 2, but there's still one last game to be played. Both of these teams down a game, so this best of 3 essentially now turns into a best of 1.
And this is going to be the real decider one here, right? This is not just because the winner of this is obviously the winner of the set, but because it's so important to see if RivaL can bounce back from that first loss and still maintain this victory, because at least in the online portions, they haven't had as many of these struggles. They've been able to move through relatively clean.
Yeah, they need to be tested, and I think that this team right here, Noxious, is a team to do so. Formerly known as Revenge, they were there at the LAN as well. Didn't have the most success compared to RivaL in particular, but still have the potential to take games off the best of them.
I'm telling you, the young lad, Dave Jr., He's the one getting
Stop.
it done. Right? No, I love it. I don't know why. I love it, but
I'm making an alt account now. Guess what I'm going to call it?
Tully Jr.?
Dave Sr.
Oh, Dave Sr. That's way better. What was I thinking? That's great.